Dead Cross 2 album review, let's chat about it. Hey friends, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning here tonight to chat about this latest album from Dead Cross. These guys are a supergroup consisting of legends, absolute legends in the heavier side of rock music. We have Mike Patton, Dave Lombardo, as well as members of The Locust and more. And a few years back, they came together as Dead Cross, released their self-titled album, an album that I pretty much enjoyed for the most part. No, it wasn't perfect, and no, it brought almost nothing new to the table in these genres, but what it was a very solid, over-the-top, hard-hitting, campy as anything crossover thrash and hardcore album, and we need more of those in life. And, you know, over the last few years since that release, Dead Cross has been fairly quiet. I didn't know if we would even hear from them again as a unit, but here they are with their second album, aptly titled 2. And you know, I'm going to be honest, leading up to this album, I thought the singles they were dropping were very disappointing, much more than I expected, almost so that I almost wrote this album off entirely. Thankfully, though, some of the deep cuts here do make up for it. Like this album's intro, Love Without Love, I think it's a great deep cut. I love the sonic production, which is actually some of the best on this entire album, as well as the band's ability and real focus on making an atmosphere. It's something I wish they did a lot more of on this album. Pacing is really great too. I also love Mike's whispered vocals that come in from time to time, as well as the Doom-inspired riff. By the time this track does open up into something more vicious and cutthroat, it's actually exciting. I like this as an intro a lot. If you're looking for a real ripper, look no further than Animal Espionage. This track has a fantastic driving riff and my personal favorite brand of performance from Mike Patton, and that is subdued at times but willing to freak the hell out whenever he damn well pleases. There's also a real sense of danger on this track. I am glad that I listened to this album because a lot of the deep cuts are pretty solid. And this track is nothing but that. It's a fantastic medium between heavy, ridiculous, and overly campy, but also it'll kick your ass. I do like the chaotic nature of Strong and Wrong, as well as the paranoid performances that we get here. Not only that, we once again get a little atmosphere. It's something I've been just desperate to hear. And I love the more low-key interludes on this track. It really, you know, brings in just a great, you know, focus on pacing, which I love. It also just adds to this overly campy production. Honestly, I think it's my favorite track here. Not only that, but it's a great reminder of who the hell you're dealing with. Ants and Dragons is pretty great too. I'm telling you, a little bit of a dark and dreary, foreboding atmosphere does this album wonders. I love the wailing, floating guitar that's sort of floating through the background on this track, and Mike's vocal performance might be my favorite here. Once again, they build up such a solid foundation that when all the wild crossover thrash rolls in, it's genuinely exciting. What a great tortured track that is just my level of campiness. Great performances all around. And while a little meat and potatoes, I do like Reign of Error quite a bit as well. This is Dead Cross by the book, solo after solo, breakdown after breakdown, absurdity, energy, urgency. But I do like a lot of the little details here, like the production and the echoed vocals and just the tortured nature of this track. Tracks like that aren't the problem. What is the big glaring problem is how unbearably safe the rest of this album is. Heart Reformer is where this album just completely falls apart. This is so unbearably average. I mean, if you really break it down on paper, this kind of sounds like where Dead Cross should be. But this shows nothing new from any of these guys. Zero growth, zero progression as an act. It doesn't tell me anything that I don't already know, and because of that, it really does not move me at all. As a matter of fact, it's pretty upsetting. God, Nightclub Canary is so phoned in. This track is easily the worst track here. This to me sounds like they threw this together with no love, no appreciation for the genre, just, you know, just tossed it all together really quick too. The performances are lukewarm. I mean, the energy is certainly here, but they do nothing with it. Singles like this almost made me steer clear from this album entirely. I've thought Christian Missile Crisis has been a really underwhelming track since I heard it as a single. I mean, it does have that atmosphere that I've been enjoying, but everything else about this track is overkill. Performances all around on this track do nothing for me. Did I mention this track is 5 minutes long? That is way too long. And like, they do try to go balls out on this album's finale, Imposter Syndrome. And while I applaud the atmosphere and the campiness, I cannot give this track a pass. Lyric-wise, This is the flimsiest material we get here. I know that these guys are so much better than this. I just get the feeling listening to this track that they didn't know what they were doing with this finale, so they just threw a bunch of crap at the wall and saw what stick, and not much did. It's just so middle of the road that it just gets on my nerves. These guys are so much better than this, and yes, some of the deep cuts do make up for this album, but the majority of this album, especially the singles leading up to this thing, are so middle of the road and so lackluster and thrown together with no appreciation for the genre. Like, yes, there's some good tracks on here, but I'm telling you right now, the tracks that are bad will infuriate you to no extent. I just know they could do so much better. They've shown it in the past. These guys have plenty more to give, but this ain't it. I'm feeling a strong 5 on this album, but let me know what you all think down below. If you like the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, friends.